I used to set massive goals, transform my body, build a YouTube channel, get in shape, learn a language, get a first class degree, and then I'd last about 10 days before everything collapsed. The problem wasn't motivation, it wasn't discipline, it was the fact that I was trying to overhaul my whole life within a single week. And I think most people who are into self improvement do the same thing. We read the book, we get inspired, and we act on it. And then when that motivation goes, or we suffer burnout, we realize the gap between where we are and where we want to be is so large that there's no point even carrying on. Then I came across these Japanese concepts that completely changed how I view my routine. Not by adding more, but by doing it less and just doing it continuously. The first concept is Kaizen. It means continuous improvement, but the critical word is continuous, not improvement. Kaizen doesn't ask you to make radical changes. It asks you to take the smallest step every single day, do the smallest improvement indefinitely. The concept originated in post-war Japan at Toyota. After World War II, Japanese manufacturers couldn't compete with American ones on scale or resources. So instead of trying to match them, they focused on something different, making tiny improvements to their process every single day. 1% better, compounded over months and years. The mathematician behind this is simple, but staggering. If you improve by 1% every single day for a year, you end up approximately 30 times better than where you started. That's not motivational fluff, that's compound interest applied to behavior. James Clear wrote Atomic Habits entirely on this concept, but the Japanese were practicing this in factories decades before he decided to talk about it in his book. So here's how I applied it. Instead of saying I'm going to train for a half marathon, I said I'm going to run for 1 minute more than I did yesterday. Instead of saying I'm going to be fluent in German, I said I'm going to learn one new phrase than what I did yesterday. The goal shrank from paralyzing to trivial, and trivial is something that you can actually do. Aristotle understood this too, even if he didn't call it Kaizen. In the Nicomachean ethics, he argues that virtue is not an act but an habit. He wrote, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence then is not an act but a habit. The Greeks and the Japanese arrived at the same destination from completely two different journeys. Who you become is not determined by what you do once, but what you continuously do every single day. The second concept is Wabi-sabi. This is the Japanese aesthetic for finding beauty in imperfection, impermanence, and incompleteness. A Wabi-sabi cup has a crack in it. A Wabi-sabi garden has rough edges and overgrown leaves. A Wabi-sabi life has unfinished tasks and days where you don't hit your targets. But that's not failure. That's the texture of being alive. This was transformative for me because I was, and still am, a recovering perfectionist. Steinbeck wrote in East of Eden, "Now that you don't have to be perfect, you can be good." Wabi-sabi says something similar, but goes further. It says that imperfection isn't just acceptable, it's where the beauty lives. There's a related practice called the art of repairing broken pottery of gold. Instead of hiding the break, you illuminate it. The repair becomes the most beautiful part of the project. And I think there's a lesson that the Western self-improvement culture desperately needs. We treat our failures as something that needs to be hidden or covered up. Wabi-sabi says no. That's what makes you interesting. Practically, Wabi-sabi changed my mentality because it made me remove the all or nothing approach. Before, if I missed a workout, the whole day felt ruined. Now, if I miss a workout, I understand there's a crack in it, but that's okay, and I can move on because every day doesn't need to be perfect. The third concept is Ikigai. It's often translated as the reason of being, but that makes it sound grandiose. In practice, Ikigai is much quieter. It's the thing that makes you get out of bed in the morning. It can be enormous, a life's mission, or it can be small, the first cup of coffee. The point is that it exists. There's a village in Okinawa called Ogimi that has the highest concentration of centenarians in the whole world. Researchers studying why these people live for so long found that almost all of these people could thoroughly explain all of their ikigai, their specific reason for being. It wasn't always noble. One woman's ikigai was her great-great-granddaughter. One man's was his modern garden. But having that one thing, that one pull, gave their days grandiose in structure. Viktor Frankl, the Austrian psychiatrist who survived the concentration camps, came to a similar conclusion from the darkest possible context. In Man's Search for Meaning, he wrote, "Those who have a why to live can bear with almost any how. Ikigai is the how. Ikigai is the why. And without it, all the Kaizen and Wabi-sabi in the world can't save you because you'll have no reason to keep improving and no tolerance for the imperfections." My Ikigai right now is this channel, sitting in front of this camera and genuinely trying to build meaningful connections with you guys. So, 3 ideas. Kaizen, improving 1% every single day. Wabi-sabi. Let the cracks be part of the beauty. Ikigai. Know why you're getting out of bed. Together, they all form the philosophy of a daily life that doesn't demand perfection, doesn't require massive discipline, and doesn't burn you out. It just asks you to keep going, imperfectly, incrementally, toward the thing that matters. The Japanese have a proverb, Nana korobi yaoki. I'm sorry if my pronunciation is terrible, but that means fall down 7 times, get up 8. That's the whole routine. That's the whole philosophy. Get up more times than you fell. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it somewhat informative. Have an amazing day. Thank you.